After over 20 years of sharing her knowledge on how to live a balanced life while pursuing a spiritual path, Supreme Master Ching Hai continues to dedicate her time and effort to uplift and enhance the life of all beings. In recent years, she has written and published 3 animal books, The Dogs in My Life, The Birds in My Life, and The Noble Wilds, to introduce humankind to the magical world of animals. Supreme Master Ching Hai shared that the books she wrote are works of love. Motivated by her unconditional love and overflowing compassion for our planet and all of its inhabitants, Supreme Master Ching Hai continues to selflessly accept invitations to share her insights and wisdom on a kinder, nobler, and more loving way of life at gatherings with our association members, symposiums, radio interviews, or via video conference and the like. We now invite you to enjoy Part 2 of a 5-part rebroadcast of the video conference with Supreme Master Ching Hai at the premiere of the German and French edition of The Noble Wilds and the Polish edition of The Dogs in My Life at the 61st Frankfurt Book Fair in Germany on October 18, 2009.
Our next guest, whom we are most grateful to have with us, is Mr. Jacek Bożek, the founder and president and leader of Club Gaia in Poland, director of Gaia Club in the UK, and president of Club Gaia in the Netherlands. A social entrepreneur by occupation, he was one of the leaders of the Zieloni 2004 party, the Green Party in Poland. He kindly accepted our invitation at short notice, and so, having travelled far to be with us to celebrate the book launch of The Dogs in My Life in the Polish language, let us give a deserving welcome to Mr. Jacek Bożek.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for the invitation to be with you here today to speak. I would like to congratulate Master Ching Hai on publishing Dogs in My Life. I am particularly happy about the Polish edition, which gives Polish people the opportunity, and my friends of course, to enjoy this beautiful book as well. Together, as humankind, we face unparalleled challenges relating to our way of life, as well as to our exploitation of the environment and the animals living on our planet. I am most encouraged that the good-willed people are doing their best job to improve the life of animals and to prevent further destruction of Mother Earth. I am native Poland and I founded the Gaia Club, which was the underground at the time movement due to the country's social, political situation. The Gaia Club main goals to protect the environment and animal rights. For over 20 years, the organization has been actively educated and intervening to defend these values. We have organized and lead many social campaigns, and in our campaigns we use unconventional methods and many forms of artistic expression. We try to help people, animals, and nature directly. We teach and give examples of how our consumer choices not only contribute to climate changes, but can also directly impact on the diminution and disappearance of biodiversity, as well as how our choices can have an immediate influence on the well-being of animals. Personally, I believe that our attitude and preferences have a huge impact on the economics, forces and market decisions. That is why, in my opinion, one of the most important courses of action today is to educate and provide open access to this essential information which will help our world citizens in making conscious and wise choices in their life. I am filled with hope for the future when I see people and organizations whose work fulfills this mission and help others to understand the interconnected fate of animals, nature and ourselves. Dziękuję bardzo. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Boziek. Supreme Master, as we conclude this session on animals, would you like to comment on what has been covered, including the work of their guests, their organizations, in protecting our co-inhabitants?
I thank all people for coming, joining us today to widen our knowledge and that of the publics about how we should treat our beautiful, innocent, beneficial animals, and how we should stop all this beyond imagination cruelty to our beautiful friends, the co-inhabitants. I can't really speak much. I'm just so choked with emotion. Even though I know some of the cruel treatment to animals, but it seems to be no end to the suffering and agony that we, the strong and intelligent and capable humans, are inflicting upon the defenseless, weak, and very pure creature of God. I just beg all the people, please, don't do it anymore. Please find some other thing to do, some other job to earn your food, to earn your living. Please wash the blood from your hand. Please. No matter how much money we have, we can't live with this conscience. We can't sleep with this. We can't eat the blood of other beings and knowing that they suffer so much. How can we do this? Please, just stop all this. There are many jobs to do. Even if we have to die, don't inflict suffering upon others just to earn a few meals a day. That's really not worth your dignity and your status as the crown of the creation of God. It is a very joyful occasion today, and I'm supposed to be very happy, and I'm supposed to tell you happy things, but I'm sorry I can't. Anyway, thank you, all of you, the speakers, for widening our knowledge about how we should uphold our dignity as a human and protect our compassionate nature. Because no matter how you torture the animals, they would die only once. Just like us, we would die only once, no matter how we die. It's just how we live our life, and how we will answer. in the kingdom of God, when we face the creator of all these beautiful beings that we are blessed to live with, you don't have to believe that animals can communicate. You don't have to believe that animals have feeling. You don't have to believe that they bless us. You don't have to believe that they are beneficial. But just look into their eyes. Just see how weak they are, how meek they are. Just see how innocent they are. Just see how defenseless they are. Then you can tell yourself that this is not right to torture them in any way at all, with any excuses at all. We have to protect them, even at the cost of our lives. But we didn't have to even sacrifice any life to protect them. We have to protect them because otherwise we cannot face ourselves. We cannot do this. We have conscience, we have heart. We cannot just kill something just because it looks different. I don't know how to express it, but we just can't do it. We just cannot do this. And expect blessing, happiness, longevity, and all the blessings from heaven in return. We have to create heaven. Otherwise, we don't have it. That's all I can say. We have to protect others. Otherwise, we cannot expect protection. We must live as an honorable, dignified, worthy being that call humans the crown of the creation. We cannot do this. Even animals, we call them animals. They don't do this to each other. Except one or two wild beasts, we call them. If we call them wild beasts, what do we call ourselves? Even the wild beasts, they don't torture their victim like this. They only have to kill when they're hungry. They have no choice. We have a lot of choice. We have a lot of choice to survive. Please, just stop this. Just stop doing this. You will be sorry the day you die if you don't stop this. I promise you, you will be very, very sorry. I promise you. I'm telling you with all the honor that I have in my life, that if you don't stop killing or torturing the animals, you will be very sorry. You will be in a place that you wish you have never been born. Please stop it. Thank you. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you, Master. We are very moved.
Some of the benefits of a vegetarian diet: lowers blood pressure, lowers cholesterol levels, reduces type 2 diabetes, prevents stroke conditions, reverses atherosclerosis, reduces heart disease risk 50%, reduces heart surgery risk 80%, prevents many forms of cancer. Stronger immune system, increases life expectancy up to 15 years. Higher IQ, saves 70% of a total cost of $40 trillion for reducing global warming. Uses 4.5 times less land to grow food. Conserves up to 70% clean water. Saves 80% of the cleared Amazonian rainforest from animal grazing. A solution for world hunger. Free up 3.4 billion hectares of land. Free up 760 million tons of grain every year, or half the world's grain supply. Consumes 1/3 fossil fuels of those used for meat production. Reduces pollution from untreated animal waste. Maintains cleaner air. Saves 4.5 tons of emissions per U.S. household per year. Stop 80% of global warming. Plus more. Save your life. Be veg. Go green.
Thanks to our guests for their insightful and interesting contribution to this first session. Ladies and gentlemen, let's listen to some heartfelt poetry written by Supreme Master Ching Hai. and recited by our association member, Supreme Master Qinghai, has written many exquisite poems in her youth until after her enlightenment. They depict the journey of a great saint experiencing human life through love, sorrow, and happiness to eventually realize the bliss of enlightenment and the sacrifice and hardship of sentient beings, especially our animal friends. Please enjoy the recital of Words of the Piglet.
The day I met you first was the day of my birth. Pink and round, me oh so plump. With Mom I gaily frolicked. Lovingly you looked at me, praising, "Oh, so round, what a cutie." Every day you came by to visit, bringing cool water and delicious veggie treats. Mommy and I were so touched. Your kindness worth more than gold. I lived a peaceful life under your care and protection, growing more plump with each passing day. Just eat, rest, and play. So lovely was this early morn, as clouds were drifting across the sky. Cuddling together, Mommy and I, unaware of the befalling tragedy. Two brawny young men, strong like tigers and elephants, squashed my tiny body flat into a cage of horror. There was no way to escape. Oh God, what purgatory was this? I wailed in fear and terror. Mom, oh Mom, please save me. Oh, caretaker, please come, protect me quickly. Rescue my life. I'm still at a tender age. Mom was crying out in sorrow, tears of desperation filling her eyes. The immense heavens cannot contain this horrendous emotional pain. My caretaker turned away, hands busy counting a stack of money. Haplessly, I rolled around in the car trunk, breaking heart more painful than bodily misery. The two young men bantered. This piglet will be so tasty. Tomorrow we'll slaughter him to celebrate the birth of the wife's newborn baby. Oh, how ironic this life. My soul is shattered. Tears flow in my heart like blood running in rivulets. I thought you loved me, nurturing me to maturity, but all this was a sham. For you it's just profit and gain. Tomorrow my body will be cut to pieces, my flesh and bones turned to sheer torture, just so people can laugh in merriment at their happy feast and gathering. To your children, and others too, I wish them all long lives, so the family can stay together, not endure the same fate as mine. I pray the whole family lives nobly, to be human in many lifetimes and never be reborn as pigs paying forever karmic debts. Alas, goodbye life. I ache for my gentle, suffering mother. In tears I am overcome. Oh, Mommy, Mom, Mom.
That was so touching. A very moving performance of a heartfelt poem. Ladies and gentlemen, and worldwide viewers, we now present Vegetarianism, the Noble Way of Living, the next part of today's seminar. It is now our great pleasure to introduce Mrs. Polina Maranova. As the coordinator of the Vegetarian Society of Bulgaria in Sofia, her work includes organizing events and meetings for the purpose of spreading the vegan and ecological message. Mrs. Maranova's efforts also extend to campaigning for the proper implementation of the law with regards to the rights of vegetarians and vegans in Bulgaria, such as in hospitals and schools. Today, her message is, we need to spread the message of veganism throughout the world. We would like to welcome Mrs. Maranova.
Good afternoon, everyone. In a few words, I'd like first to introduce you the Vegetarian Society of Bulgaria that I have the honor to represent here today. 5 years ago, a group of friends, all of us vegetarians and now vegans, decided to launch a website. The major purpose of the site was to get the online community acquainted with the advantages of vegetarian and vegan lifestyle, which is also an inevitable spiritual and physical necessity for both man and nature. With time, we succeeded in attracting supporters, both vegetarians and vegans, who expressed their willingness to help us establish such a vegetarian society. We also organized an internet forum where members of our society and guests of our website have the opportunity to exchange ideas, solve problems, launch initiatives, and provide feedback on them. We began to gather publications, articles, studies, analyses, and other materials about vegetarianism and veganism. I'm happy to share you that this year things have definitely been improving. An increasingly greater number of people are vegetarian and embracing the vegetarian diet, and an ever increasing number of people have begun to make the connection between stock breeding, environmental problems, and their own health. We now have coordinators in the 4 biggest Bulgarian cities and towns, where monthly meetings of members of our society are held and various initiatives and actions are implemented. The interest of the media in our activities has grown as well. We have given interviews for the Bulgarian National Radio, for different newspapers, and for various national television channels. Currently, we are in the process of getting registered as a non-profit, non-governmental organization. Our efforts will be mainly channeled to the amendments of the relevant legislation in the Republic of Bulgaria. I conceived the idea about registering a non-governmental organization and the need for legislative amendments, having repeatedly faced the choice of eating meat or going hungry. In this regard, my human rights have been infringed on numerous occasions. A year ago, I had to stay for a while in a hospital for giving birth, and all the meals offered there were actually meat dishes. I had informed the hospital staff that I was a vegan in advance and asked if vegan dishes could be provided for me. The reply as I received from them was that for my sake alone, they could not make any changes. Exactly the same things happens with our vegetarian and vegan children. who have no possibility of choice at the kindergartens they attend. The situation is almost the same at the school canteens where, if there is a vegetarian or vegan dishes, the dish looks quite unattractive. And there's no end on such examples there and elsewhere. All this makes vegetarians and vegans in Bulgaria discriminated people. I consulted attorneys at law who are experienced in the area of human rights protection. They told me that human rights law is on our side, and we should seriously consider filing a possible lawsuit against the state. They also indicated the possibility of launching some legislative initiatives for the purpose of securing the equal rights of vegetarians and vegans and protecting their equitable access to their normal nutritional regimen. In accordance with the text of the Article 6 of the Bulgarian Constitution, all people are born free and equal, as far as their dignity and rights are concerned. Besides, all citizens are equal before the law. No limitation of rights or privileges is admissible on the grounds of race, nationality, ethnically, gender, origin, family backgrounds, religion, education, convictions, political affiliation, personal and social or material status. Following this line of thought, the rights of quite a sizable part of Bulgarian people are systematically infringed, simply because the virtue of their convictions or religious denominations they have become vegetarian and vegans. It's absolutely imperative that Parliament pass a law stating that all hospitals, kindergartens, creches, all schools and prisons, in short, all public institutions where catering is provided, shall have vegetarian and vegan meals on offer. This will be a huge significance for vegan and vegetarian children, who for this very reason are currently unable even to attend any kindergarten. If children are given the choice to pick up a vegan menu, this will inevitably improve their health status as well. Every fifth child in Bulgaria suffers from being overweight, and the connections between meat, obesity, and cardiovascular diseases have been established for a long time now. Unfortunately, Bulgaria is lagging behind other Western countries in terms of rights protection. Whether we speak on the rights of the animals or the rights of humans, vegetarians and vegans, Bulgaria has not yet passed any legislation which incriminates cruelty to animals, which is why our future efforts will also be focused on this direction. What is positive is that the future lies on our own hands, and we have come to see the fruits of our efforts. It's not only people and animals who stand to gain from these efforts, it's rather the entire planet that stands to gain if our efforts are crowned with success. This is the reason why we would like to establish contacts with international vegetarian and vegan organizations and societies worldwide, so that together we can build a better future founded on love, non-violence, and compassion for all forms of life. Thank you.
Thanks. This was a powerful message that will surely reverberate around the world. Thank you, Mrs. Marinova.
Thank you.
For your speech and your inspirational leadership.
Thank you.
Next, we will hear from Mr. Lubimir Stoyanov, a nutritional scientist, student of bioinformatics, and member of the Bulgarian Vegetarian Society. Mr. Stoyanov's speech is on the advantages of a vegan diet from a medical perspective. Ladies and gentlemen, and viewers, Lubomir Stoyanov.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm Lubomir Stoyanov from the Bulgarian Vegetarian Society, and I've studied nutrition science in Germany. The Bulgarian Vegetarian Society's purpose is to introduce the advantages of the vegetarian way of living to the society as an inescapable spiritual and physical need of humankind and nature. Vegetarian and vegan diets are becoming more mainstream now, and the number of vegetarians and vegans in the United States and in Europe is expected to increase over the next decade. There is also a growth in medical interest in vegan nutrition. The number of articles in the scientific literature related to the VEG topic has increased more than 7 times over the last 40 years. When a person makes the VEG pledge by making the healthy and compassionate decision to be vegan, they sometimes say that they are vegan for life. The phrase has 2 meanings. In addition to looking forward to the lifelong enjoyment of the nutritious and natural vegan diet, they also know that their choice will not only save the lives of animals, but also their own. As an almost vegan myself, I am able to state from first-hand experience that a well-planned, plant-based diet gives much greater health and energy levels, as well as enabling me to avoid the health harms of a meat diet. The American Dietetic Association, which is the world's largest organization of nutrition and food professionals, stated that a healthy vegan diet, appropriate for all ages, can ensure lower blood cholesterol levels, reduced blood pressure, lower rates of hypertension, and more. The UK Cabinet Office Strategy Unit documented that 70,000 premature deaths in the UK could be prevented annually by the vegan diet. The European Prospective Investigation into Cancer and Nutrition found that greater consumption of vegetables and fruit increases the probability of being cancer-free. Similarly, the World Cancer Research Fund has recently called for complete avoidance of all processed meats to avoid cancer. The World Health Organization states that premature deaths could be avoided through healthy ways of living and through a healthy vegetable-rich diet, and the American Diabetes Association is highlighting the fact that vegetarian diets protect against the risk of type 2 diabetes. Many such reports have been summarized by a worldwide satellite and online channel broadcasting the Climate Solution 24/7 on Supreme Master Television, which is Sky Channel 835 in Europe. With live online streaming and downloadable shows at www.suprememastertv.com, one can get all the information as well as keeping up to date with all the most recent developments in climate change, climate sciences, green issues, vegetarianism, positive way of living, and so on. This channel has to be the #1 hub for climate change information and effective climate action, and everything thereby associated. Note that this channel is broadcast with many simultaneous subtitles, so everyone can watch in their own language. The following clip is one example of Supreme Master TV's informative announcements, which presents some of the health truths of the meat and milk diet.
Some of the diseases related to meat consumption and or production: Q fever, norovirus, swine flu,
Ebola reston virus. Cured meats and fish increase leukemia risk in children. Antibiotic-resistant superbug infections from a strain of Staphylococcus aureus.
blue tongue disease, E. coli, salmonella, bird flu, mad cow disease, or Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, 90% of the population at risk, pig's disease, or PMWS, listeriosis, shellfish poisoning, preeclampsia, Campylobacter, Clostridium difficile, diseases hidden in healthy-appearing livestock.
Some of the costs of meat eating: infertility, Eating just one serving of meat per day increases the risk of women's infertility by 32%, with additional meat consumption increasing the risk.
Heart disease. Over 17 million lives lost globally each year. Cost of cardiovascular disease is at least $1 trillion a year.
Cancer. Colon rectal cancer. Over 1 million new colon cancer patients diagnosed each year. More than 600,000 colon cancer-related mortalities annually. In the United States alone, colon cancer treatment costs about $6.5 billion. Millions of people are newly diagnosed with other meat-related cancers every year. Diabetes. 246 million people are affected worldwide. An estimated $174 billion spent each year on treatment in just the United States.
Obesity. Worldwide, 1.6 billion adults are overweight, with 400 million more who are obese. Costs $93 billion each year for medical expenses in the United States alone. At least 2.6 million people die annually from problems related to being overweight or obese. Environmental. Use up to 70% of clean water. Pollute most of the water bodies. Deforest the lungs of the earth. Uses up to 43% of the world's cereal. Uses up to 85% of the world's soy. Cause world hunger and wars. 80% cause of global warming. Plus more.
Some of the costs of milk consumption. Cowpox from milking cows. Bacterial microbes, pesticides, and enzymes found in cheese derived from the inner stomach linings of other animals. Up to 80% of the calories in cheese are from pure fat. Breast, prostate, and testicular cancer from hormones present in milk. Listeria and Crohn's disease. Hormones in saturated fat leads to osteoporosis, obesity, diabetes, and heart disease. Linked to higher incidences of multiple sclerosis. Classified as a major allergen. Lactose intolerance, plus more. For more urgent information, please visit www.suprememastertv.com/killers.
So be sure to tune in to learn more about who should be vegan for life, among many other things which can uplift our lives as well as the life of the planet. So check out Supreme Master TV on Sky 835. Check out the vegetarian diet. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Stoyanov, for your very informative speech.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for today's episode of Words of Wisdom for the rebroadcast of the premiere of Supreme Master Ching Hai's book, The Noble Wilds, German and French edition, and The Dogs in My Life, Polish edition. Please join us again on Tuesday for Part 2. And now, please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television for a journey through aesthetic realms, coming up next, right after noteworthy news. May the providence guide your life in nobility, wisdom, and love.
For more details, please visit www.suprememastertv.com/WOW.